Hi guys, welcome back to Behind the Iron. Thanks very much for joining me. Today, I've had a question come to me probably about 3 or 4 times now. People are asking about steak and whether or not you can cook it without a barbecue, the best ways to cook it, things like that, so that you can enjoy it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you into my kitchen. I'm going to show you how I cook steak. I do have a barbecue, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you how to cook it straight on the hot top, and I'll give you some pointers. Cooking steak does not have to be complicated. It can be, but if you're just looking to churn out something that's really nice and with as little fuss as possible, then I'll show you exactly how I do it. And hopefully you can follow along and get the same results. So come with me into the kitchen and I'll show you how I get things done. Okay, when choosing a cut of steak, I would suggest you spend a little bit of extra money and get something that's worthwhile. Something like a ribeye, Scotch fillet or porterhouse. I particularly like Scotch fillet. I find that the fat marbling through this steak is delicious, especially when you cook it on high heat and that fat renders right back. It creates a wonderful flavour. You can obviously trim the fat off afterwards, but I would still suggest that you cook the steak with the fat on so that you can take advantage of this flavour that comes from that. Okay, now that we've got the steak organised, it's time to season and prepare it before we put it in the pan. Now obviously seasonings, everyone has their favourites. Mine, I particularly like Lane's barbecue. I buy mine from the local butchers here in town, but if I can find out where you can get it from, I will put that in the link below. This particular seasoning is honey and sriracha. As you can see, I use it quite liberally. I'm not shy when it comes to seasoning. The reason being is when I put it on the pan, I find that the honey caramelizes really well, gives the steak an incredible flavour, and then you've got the heat of the sriracha as well. So in my opinion, it's one of the best sort of all-purpose seasonings. You can really use it on anything, from chicken to pork and even fish for that matter. So I do this directly before I put it in the pan, and that way there's little to no fuss. Good to go. Okay, we're good to go now. The key now is to get the pan as hot as possible. Now we are limited because we're cooking inside and gas can only come out so fast, it can only be so hot. But these were the questions that were asked, so my recommendation is to heat the pan as hot as you can get it before you put the meat in. I like to use just a little bit of oil. It's probably not necessary because you're going to find that the fat will render and obviously come out of the meat as you're cooking it. But the reason why we want the pan to be as hot as possible is so that we can sear the meat. As soon as we put it in there, we need it to sear, we need it to close it off, seal it up, and hold in all the moisture and all the flavour. Now, because we're using a dry rub, or a dry season, I should say, we shouldn't really have any issues at all. It'll cook beautifully. Like I told you before, it will the seasoning will caramelise because of the honey that's in it. However, if you are using something like a marinade or a wet rub or something like that, I would be sort of hesitant cooking it this way. The reason for that is if you are using something that has obviously a lot of moisture in it, like a wet rub, a marinade or something like that, you need the heat to be right up there. Otherwise, what you'll find is that instead of sort of cooking the meat, you're almost boiling it, like stewing it in the juice of, and the moisture that comes with the marinade and all that sort of thing. So, for me, if you are cooking it like this, keep it really simple. Use a season, use a salt, whatever you want to do. A little bit of oil in the pan, hot as you can get it. Drop it on there. We're looking at probably, it depends on how you like your steak. I prefer mine to be medium well. If you like medium rare, you just have to sort of play it around a little bit. but typically you're looking at about between 4 to 5 minutes aside, depending on how you like your steak cooked, that is. Obviously, if I was cooking this on a barbecue, then it would be a lot faster, but we're working with what we've got, and so yeah, leave it alone, only flip it once, and you'll end up with a fantastic result. Okay, so like I said, we're only flipping the steak once. I've lost count how many times I've been at a barbecue and the guy behind the grill is constantly flipping the steaks over and over and over again, and all I can think to myself is that this thing is about to taste like the sole of a shoe or something like that. Very important. Only one time, flip it over. Now, I prefer the char finish on mine. If you don't like the char finish, if you prefer not to have that sort of that colour and that flavour, then I would recommend you not use something like a honey or anything that can caramelise or sort of crisp up and burn in that way. So if you prefer otherwise, I would just say use a normal salt or a pepper or herb combination or something like that. So thanks guys, bear with me for this for the camera. It's a brand new camera. I'm still trying to work out how to get it to focus and all the rest of it, and I never realised how difficult it was to film myself cooking, but we're getting there. Okay, once you're satisfied that you think the steak has been on long enough, you need to take it off and put it on somewhere where it can rest. This is important also, to ensure that you don't just get all the juices running all over your plate. It's a presentation thing. If it personally doesn't bother you, you can dig straight in. I would normally leave it for about 5 minutes, just sitting. You don't want to leave it for too long because it will cool down, but yeah, leave it to rest. You'll find that there will be juices, obviously, that will come out, and you can, if you just use a piece of paper towel or something. But like if you're just going to cut this up and mix it with rice or something like that, then I would suggest you just start cutting it up right now. There's really nothing stopping you. So once it's finished resting, cut it up, put it in a meal, put it between bread, whatever you want to do, and enjoy. So there it is, guys. That's my way to cook steak, at least in the kitchen. So thanks very much to those who asked the question. It was a pleasure to try and answer it as best as I can. If you've got anything else, please hit me up in the comment section. If you want me to demonstrate something, if you want me to discuss something, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your patience. All this editing and all that is very new to me. I am learning, and I'm very excited to be picking up new things, but yeah, just bear with me. I understand that video quality and everything else is paramount, and I'm doing my very best to bring out quality content. by all means, like I said, Instagram, DM me, or just comment down below what it is you'd like to see. Thank you very much for your support, and stay safe, keep well.